Ladies and gents, welcome to another video here on the EGL channel, and of course we are jumping into more squad builders. Let's just not fanny around anymore and jump right in. This one, 250k is what it's going to be costing you. This is for the most part obviously a little bit more of an expensive video, 250 coming in as our cheapest one. By this point you should probably have this many coins in fairness, or at least some decent untradables, etc, to stick into a team. If you've been playing every single week, if you are at this point now, you should definitely have this many coins. Right, let's delve into it, and then we went mostly Bundesliga for this one, and I think a running theme that you'll see throughout this video is that we're not using many good central players. I think if you are looking at central players that you want to play in your team, for the most part, there's not a great deal. I think there's, you know, if you've got a load of coins and you can get a Ronaldo or a Mbappe, then that's kind of where you know your money's going to be put. But other than that, I think a lot of the wide players are a lot better than a lot of the central players this year, which is why we have 4 of them in this one. Let's start from the back though. We'll go from Neuer, Lacroix, up Upamecano, and Baba and Hernandez. Of course, just make sure you got that French link in for Hernandez because he's going to link to Diaby as well. I think as far as left backs go in Bundesliga, there's not that many good ones at all. So Hernandez coming in is a really nice one. You could do that with Mendy as well if you have a little bit more, but honestly for me, I think Hernandez does a great job. So there's your back line with, of course, Neuer in nets. Your centre mid pairing will be Bellingham and Zakaria. Zakaria, for the most part, I think is the one here, 86 pace, and he's an absolute brick to try and get past. Very good card. Of course, passing and shooting and dribbling, not that great. You could upgrade to his Rulebreakers if you want to spend a little bit more, but we try to keep this one nice and cheap. Speaking of Rulebreakers, first one on the team sheet that you would have noticed is Diaby coming in here. He's one of your more expensive players, if not your most. Very good. Very pacey. I managed to get him untradeable. I actually got baited massively in my rewards this morning. Came up Rulebreaker, French, Diaby. Very sad. Should have been Dembele. It would have been very nicely fitting into my team. But of course, I said Bellingham and Zakaria in the middle, then you've got 4 players to try and just figure out where you want to go with it. The reason that I've put Sane and Coleman wide, or in the middle, sorry, because I'm playing them wide. I just don't feel as if you need as much of that chemistry boost as you would for your players who are kind of going to be a bagsman in the middle. I would probably put Diaby up front in a 4-2-3-1. That's pretty much what all of these formation teams, I should say, are based on. Diaby up front, it's just that pace, it's that shooting. The 2-star weak foot, the only thing that maybe lets him down. But whether or not you would like to use him wide, you can do, and then maybe use Gnabry up front at 84 pace, 85 shooting, 87 dribbling. It's pretty decent actually. Gnabry's kind of getting to where he probably should be. Coleman, Diaby out wide, Sane and Cam I'll kind of try and go with the ones with the best passing and shooting in the middle, and the ones with the best pace and dribbling out wide, which kind of makes sense for Coleman and Sane. But that's 250k. It doesn't get you a great deal when you do try and mix it up, to be honest with you. It's very standard amount of coins. But let's move on to the next one. We're going to go 500k. We'll jump into that now. And jumping into the team I probably prefer out of all 4 of them, to be honest with you. We're going with Serie A. My issue with Serie A is you're kind of just building towards getting Di Natale. That's really what you're going to be doing here. And then once you do that, you're probably not going to link them outside of that. If you're good enough for Di Natale, you've probably got enough for some other very good players, and you're probably going to move away from Serie A. But for the most part, 500k gets you a very nice looking squad. Starting from the back, the defense is kind of, well, standard, to be honest with you. I think if you've got a hold of that Koulibaly player of the month, or the Delict, of course, Champions League one, then it's obviously worth putting in. But Koulibaly and Skriniar would be the typical goal cards that I would use in this scenario. I should really learn how to say that before I do this video. Mela, I believe, is how you say it. Coming in at right back, I think very standard, very attacking, but the same as Cuadrado. I think he's a really good looking card though, and especially if Atalanta go on and do okay in the groups, then maybe that'll get upgraded. Possibly not with the way that it's still coming out, because Ronaldo keeps clutching up. Hernandez coming in at left back, and then probably the best part of your team, your centre mid pairing of Tonali and Barella, who are cracked. Very good. Tonali obviously has that little bit extra pace. Barella maybe a little bit better at that defensive side of things, maybe about that little jinky dribbling. He's that little smaller frame, isn't he? But both very much in that 80 pace range, which is what you kind of want for your CDMs at this point in the game. Tonali and Barella, very good pairing. I'd probably put Dybala and Cam with Felipe Anderson and Lozano on the wide cams. I think just the pace and the passing is good enough. The dribbling's really good, especially on Felipe Anderson. Lozano is just rapid and can shoot as well, to be fair to him. But Lozano and Anderson wide. Arnautovic in the middle. Definitely check the Arnautovic card out, to be honest with you. Coming in around 45k, his dribbling's really good. Warning that he is 6'4". However, 4-star, good physicals, can hit the ball, shoot. It's a really good looking card, to be honest with you. I've been tempted to just pick them up and come off the bench for my side of things later on in the game. The physicality, etc., will ruin some tired defenses. That's going to be the 500k team. Now let's jump into the one. We're doubling up to 1 million. So here we go then, we're starting to get a little bit more serious now. We kind of went with a bit of a La Liga, Bundesliga kind of mix up here. Start with the back, Neuer, Upamecano, Koundé, Mendy and Babu. Very, very standard. You know, you go with the French link, so you can get Koundé and Mendy in. It's a very, very good looking back line, has to be said. You can upgrade that to that inform Upamecano as well for your coins. I don't know why I didn't just put inform Upamecano in, but do that because he's better. Obviously. Yeah, CDM parents. In this instance, I've actually went with the Rulebreakers Zakaria. Doesn't quite have the pace, but everything else is a lot better. I kind of just, he's a little bit more, and I kind of wanted to stay with the Bundesliga because I love the look of that Sane card. He looks incredible. That is definitely going to go up as well, of course. Anyway, with how good Bayern are looking in their group right now, I believe what they won like 5 trillion nil, and Lewandowski scored 30 million goals. I don't know. Sane, 93 pace, 89 dribbling, 85 shooting. He'll be a striker. Of course, you've got De Jong and Zakaria in the middle. I'd probably play in Kunku and Cam, and Dembele and Diaby wide. Now, Diaby wide, obviously, because of his 2-star weak foot. Kind of going against what I said about him in the other team that we've got. But, of course, Dembele wide is very, very good. And Kunku, Cam, I went with the passing one for this. He's still available, and I think you should do him. Because you can kind of flex him anyway. You can play Cam, you can play in CDM, you can play CM. Like, there's so many different positions that this man can play. And I went with the passing one just because you can boost out with the Hunter on the shot side of things fairly quickly. I wouldn't want to be putting a Catalyst on him in comparison to putting a Hunter on him. I think Hunter just makes a lot more sense. The passing and Cam is phenomenal. His dribbling is really good. 3-star weak foot kind of lets him down a little bit, but that's the only thing. Of course, I said with Sane up top, Dembele, Diaby wide. I think it's a really, really good team, and may well actually be my favourite of the four. Nonetheless, I'm very, very fickle, clearly, as we do just quickly change in between. But let's jump over to the 2 million squad builder. I'm not too sure if many of you will have this many coins. If you do, you probably won't be listening to me, but we're going to jump into it anyway. 2 million squad builder coming up. Well, here we go then. We're getting a little bit more serious now, I would say. And there's a couple of people who are interchangeable in this one. We'll go across the back line though. It's pretty standard. I haven't splashed out on any of the back lines really crazily, because I think honestly you can put together a really good back line for 200k. That's all you need. Mendy, Militao, more than good enough. One thing I will say though, and I don't see him as often as I thought I would, Virgil van Dijk for 140k on the PlayStation right now is an incredible signing for me personally. Absolutely fantastic. And if you can fit Virgil into one of your teams, it's very much worth doing. I think the only thing that you would possibly have to do though is the lack of left back when it does come to the Premier League, outside of Robertson, of course, or at least his Champions League one, which is very expensive. I'd probably play somebody off chem. I'd probably play a Walker off chem, somebody like that. You can link them then to a Mane, who may be playing centre mid, and then off chem himself as well. But besides the point, we'll not talk about Virgil any longer. There's your back line, very, very solid. Hakimi, Mendy, very meta. They're probably two best fullbacks on the game. Some would argue Kyle Walker's there as well. But then we move into the midfield. Casemiro, De Jong. Casemiro was just there to just try and spice up the team a little bit. I'd honestly say Valverde is probably a very decent carton. But if I'm honest, Casemiro would probably do a job. There's so many times I've come up against Fabinho, who has about 30 pace, and he's so difficult to get past. So Casemiro with 70 and 87 defending and 86 physical will be more than enough, to be honest with you. So yes, that Casemiro card looks very, very good. I'd definitely give it a go. He can shoot, he can pass. Dribbling won't be the best, but 87 defending, 87 physical. Just get the ball and pass it to somebody else. It doesn't really matter. De Jong next to him, of course. And then we go to the front four, which is scary. I put Fekir in here. I said I wouldn't put too many SBC players in. I lied to you in this instance. If you did want to swap out for another really good looking cam, Rulebreakers David Silva looks very, very good in this scenario, especially as you will be playing cam. Although, would you be playing on cam? No, probably not. I'd probably be playing Fekir wide in this scenario, because you'd have Lionel Messi in cam, Vinicius wide, Dembele up top. You can mix it up every which way you want, and I don't think anyone would be bad. I think in this scenario though, I definitely think Fekir, Vinicius wide, Dembele, Messi in the middle, with Messi being in cam would probably make sense. That Rulebreakers Dembele card looks insane. Every time I look at that card, I think to myself how much I need it, and as mentioned, I did get baited with it this morning, which was very, very disappointing. like, this is the second recording of this video because I messed up on the recording side of things. But Dembele's card just looks better and better and better every single time I look at it. It's just an out-and-out striker. That 5-star. It's insane. It's absolutely insane. How much is he? He's 750k, so I need to get saving essentially. If you did not want to use that Dembele and you'd rather just play him wide and you have Fekir, you want to play him in the middle, I'd probably play Messi up top, Fekir just behind him, and I'd get 85 Vinicius instead because he's that good. I also think you could probably mix it up, as said, in the Casemiro side of things. Valverde doesn't do anything different to the Chem. In this scenario, Militao, I don't believe, needs the perfect blink. I think a green will be absolutely fine as long as he has another green in there as well, which he could go with Renan Lodi, of course, as well. But this is a very, very good looking team. I think, you know, when it gets to this stage, when you're spending this many coins, you're going to have some expensive players in there. You have to. You can still put together a very good squad for 500k, 250k. You probably put a better squad together than this for 250k. I just went with something maybe a little bit different. But 500k, 1 million, all these squads are very good, and we've successfully stayed away. I don't think we've got a single Premier League player in any of these. We don't. Sensational from my point of view. But there you go. That's going to be the end of the video. Please let me know if you do use any of these squads, which ones you like the look of. Let me know if you would change any of them up in any which way below in the comments. Leave the video a like. If you haven't subscribed as well, make sure you do. And we will see you for the next video.